What's up? We're just having a conversation here. Hello, one person. Got some time to kill before I go home today. So I'm just going. These just kind of pop up from time to time. Typically, what I do is we'll try to have a conversation. Last week we had, last time we had a bunch of people from the Balkans come in and they showed me some cool places back in their home countries. Dropped street view pins. Otherwise, I'm just probably going to talk about, what's been going on today. Been having an interesting exchange with some random dude on Threads. That was an interesting experience, to say the least. Also had to this has been it's Tuesday. The week's only 3 days in, and I've already had three wildly different, wildly bizarre interactions with people. So it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to think. So, I mean, whatever anyone's in the mood for, drop it in the chat. Only one of you right now, so. Oh, I know who my one watcher is. I know now. Oh, God. People. I'm going to start looking at maps again because people are pissing me off. I'm going to move the chat over here. I'm going to do screen share. And I want to look at Google Maps. Okay. So let's see. Where are we traveling to? Where are we dropping, boys? Wonder if I can go into studio real quick while we're in the middle of it. Wonder if I can edit the details. Yeah. Close that. Okay. Oh, whoever you are, I lost you. Interesting. Oh, there you are. I don't know what happened. Showed that you disappeared for a second. Now you got to put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. The only person watching, she's texting me. So put it in the chat. That way people can see what you want to talk about. So she wants me to talk about interesting stories and supernatural stuff in the city of Boston. So let me get to some notes here because there is something interesting. There are interesting stories. Let me take a look. Just got to look at my notes app real quick. Here we go. So over here, the top is Malden. So Malden is a city. There's supposedly a story about a immortal man in Malden, Massachusetts. His name was Ephraim Gray. I wonder if we can find. Gray. No? Okay. Well, Ephraim Gray was this guy who lived in Malden, somewhere around here. And who he was, who Ephraim Gray was this kind of isolated hermit guy. And the story goes he was a scientist and he was working towards discovering the secret of immortality. He wanted to, beyond all doubt, find a way to cheat death. Now, he never came out of his house. He was always working 24/7. He would be fixated, exclusively fixated on, how to make this happen. And the only person that ever spoke to him was this man that he hired to bring his groceries to his door. So the man had a key to his house. He would only ever go up to the door, unlock the door, put the groceries in, close the door, and lock it. This is what Ephraim Gray's, we'll call him a valet. That's what he was there to do. Or an assistant or something like that. And what wound up happening is one day the neighbors began to complain about a terrible smell coming from Ephraim's house. And the valet, he was instructed to never step inside. Never. So he would continue to deliver the groceries and deliver, trying his best to endure the terrible smell that was coming from the house. And inevitably, one day he comes to the door, not inevitably, eventually. He goes to the door, he opens it, but there's no smell. Suddenly, Ephraim Gray's house doesn't smell like much of anything. So the horrible smell faded away, and no one knows why. And curiosity got the better of him, so he went into the house, and he found a dead Ephraim Gray laying in his home. Sorry for the chimes there. Got a email there. Yeah, I'm going to ignore that. So what happened after Ephraim Gray was found is they held a funeral. No one showed except for his assistant. And then he was buried. And then there were some years that passed, and students at Harvard, nearby Harvard, right down there, students at nearby Harvard were curious about Ephraim's story up here in Malden. So the students went to Ephraim's grave to dig him up. And this was decades after he had passed. So they went to dig him up. And when they uncovered his grave and they exhumed him illegally, when they finished exhuming him, they found that Ephraim Gray's body had not decayed. It had been buried for years and years and years, but his body, for some reason, had not decayed. Now, this obviously alerted the students that there was some crazy shit happening. So they reburied the body because they were terrified that they were going to get in trouble, but they had all sorts of thoughts, like maybe the bodies were switched, or maybe this is fake, or there's something happening. So what they did is they reburied Ephraim Gray, the man who supposedly found a cure for death, a tincture to create immortal life. And when they reburied him, they went back to school and they told people, and they very quietly tried to tell their professor, and a bunch of people got together and said, no, this is strange. That's not possible. So they all went together to go back to Ephraim's grave, and they exhumed him again. But this time when they pulled the coffin up, the body was missing. And the legend says that no one knows what happened to Ephraim Gray's corpse. But the theory is that maybe he succeeded, maybe he is now immortal, and that it just took that long for it to kick in. So there's a supernatural story from Malden, just north of Boston. There's a lot of those kinds of stories kicking around here. If you want more, I'll give more, but I got to see it in the chat. If you want more stories about Boston, let me know and I'll put them in the chat, or let me know by putting them in the chat. Otherwise, if there's somewhere you want me to take a look at, we're kind of world traveling right now. I am right about here right now. I am in downtown Boston. That's where my location is right now. So if you want to explore the city, we can explore the city. If you want to explore your home, we can explore your home. If you want more stories, we can do more stories. But you got to put it in the chat. Let's see. It's 8:49. Don't have much longer. Let's see. What else is in this area? Maybe we'll go down the quarries. Let's check the quarries. So the quarries. From above, what you're looking at is a bunch of mounds. When we hit street view, you got these crazy looking rock formations covered in graffiti. And it doesn't feel like, ooh, you are conscious. You are conscious matter. You matter. You are conscious matter. That is uncomfortably true. We are all just matter and molecules that became aware of themselves. But you look at this, and what you see are just like strangely jutting out bits of stone. But they used to be, all this grass was not here. This soil here was actually just a giant pit. And these were the very tips of very tall cliff sides of granite. This was a granite quarry. And a lot of the stone that helped build Boston as it is today came from this quarry. Now, today it's kind of like a famous spot for graffiti, for rock climbing. People go here all the time. Once upon a time, it was a famous dumping ground for Whitey Bulger and the Winter Hill Gang for dropping corpses off Ked, the most Boston word of all time. What's going on, Ked? So it used to be that people would jump off of the quarries into the water, but it's not a good idea these days. There's all sorts of crazy shit in there. Hey, someone called Tyler the Creator. Someone's representing. Golf wing. Let's see, any more spots are in the quarries? It's over here. Nope, still. Oh, shit. Adventure time. And the scariest, what is this, a mouse or is this Piglet from fucking Winnie the Pooh? It's a good heart on there, though. I'm always fascinated by all the graffiti that pops up at the quarries. It evolves over time. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, some people are just fantastic with it. Let's see what else is down here. Let's go up here. No, that's the one we looked at before. Can we get on top of the rocks? That would be cool. Nope, back on there. There we go. Up top. So, yeah, we got someone. So there are some anchor points on these rocks somewhere for people to go rock climbing and set up. Yeah, there's some anchor points right there for people to go rock climbing, set up a few ropes, carabiners, that kind of thing. How about you? Okay, Street View. Street View is broken. Why is everything blue? Yeah, you can get a decent view of the city from here, too. I gotta get back up there. Hey, you, person watching, you want to go to the quarries? Hey, who goes there? Sevi, WVU. Should have been Ubu. We got Rue. You are conscious matter still. Yeah, it's a good spot to overlook the land. I don't know what we're doing here. Not sure if 4 baseball diamonds or moon jelly. It's a moon jelly. These guys wash up all the time in the shores around here. Quarry Hills Reservation. Is this a fucking golf course? Yup. Gross. You know what disgusts me is This right here, this reservation is the namesake of the state of Massachusetts. The Blue Hills Reservation is where Massachusetts gets its name. Massachusetts is Massachusetts of the Great Hills, referring to these hills. And what do people do with it? Fucking golf courses. Golf club, golf club. Granite Links, Wollaston Golf Club. There is no reason these need to exist. Genuinely. This is the namesake of the state, and they waste so much of the space on golf clubs. I personally think that golf clubs, there should be a hard limit to how many golf clubs or how many golf courses can exist in a 50-mile radius. I think there should be maybe like 2. But no, we got one here. We got one there. I bet if I zoom out, I can find more. Is that a golf club? No. Wouldn't take long, though. There's one. Let's go up to Boston. Bet I can find another one. There's another one. Let's see. Can I find another one? There's another one. Basically, I'm just looking for any random patch of grass. And there's another one. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why does there need to be that many golf courses? We're already having... Look at this big-ass one here. We already have enough trouble building developments in Massachusetts. We do not need to make it harder with all of these golf courses. This is going to... Another one. They're right down the fucking street from each other. This is stupid. This is going to send me off on another tangent. I can tell. What do we got here? Golf course. Let's see. Is this another one? Golf course. And golf course. Oh, that's so annoying. That's going to piss me off now. It should not be legal to have this many golf courses this close to one city. Like, genuinely. This cannot be good. Like, this can't be functionally better for the local economy than just using that space for residences. Or even just parks. Just green spaces. It's a load of bullshit. Up. This one doesn't appear to be going anywhere, this stream. Probably not going to leave this one up on live. Ooh. Hunter West Kill Wilderness. Where am I going? Fuck it. Let's try to play some GeoGuessr. because that golf course thing is going to piss me the fuck off. Oh, mute. God, no music. Silence. Resume game. Okay. So where are we at? This is looking US. Still looking US. Clements Street. This is looking flat. I'm getting Texas vibes. School Street, 20 miles an hour. This is the United States. Only in the US will you get a 20 there. Can I go down there? No. How about... Nope. Fuck. So US definitely. Black. I do think this is Texas. I think Texas has black plates, I think. You know what this looks like? This looks like Arlen. This looks like Arlen from King of the Hill. Dirty something. I'm getting Texas, but I only have 30 seconds. American flag, definitely Texas. What do we got here? Just a big old cross. Can I get to a sign? Can I please get something? No. Okay, well, we're going to have to go Texas. We'll go here. Oh, shit. I mean, not too far off. Not too bad. I got a friend that lives up here. Okay, I'm not mad at it. Okay, so this is going to be clearly not the U.S. We got the... This is a Spanish-speaking country. Se vende. What do we got on the signs? Oh, shit. There was a map there. Where the fuck was it? Damn it, where was that map? Dasuba, gmail.com. That's not helpful. Come on, where was that map? Nope. Out of my way. Liquor and beer. Where did that map go? Did I just hold down too long? And what's this? Preschool? What's the website? .com. Del Norte. Proverbios. So that's a religious thing. Del Norte. I'm getting a bit of, let's see. It looks mountainous in the distance, so maybe a little bit of Colombia. It's a very churchy going place. Oh, yep, Colombia. Colombia. Let's go Bogota. I don't think I've got time to... Hey! I was right. I'm having myself a moment. Okay. Okay, I'm getting PNW. This is feeling Pacific Northwest. It's a walking path. Okay. All right. Bicycles, not PNW. This is Europe somewhere. Are those UK? I thought UK had yellow. What do we got here? What's on the side of here? Oh, Korisari. Oh, this is looking like Finland. What's this sign? Is this Finland? This feels like Finland, but it's not cooperating. I assume this is supposed to say Free Palestine. Oh, what was that? Time travel. You're not helping me out here, man. Damn. Okay. I think this is Finland. I've only got 30 seconds to find something to confirm this. Rinta Jopi. To me, that confirms it's Finland. Rinta, Finland. Where are we at? Are we in Helsinki? Boom! Not bad. Not bad. I'll fucking take it. Where am I going? Give me something. I don't stream enough to buy GeoGuessr full right now. Give me a place. Give me somewhere to look at. Let me see how long I have until I gotta get out of here. I only got about 15 minutes, so where are we dropping? Person in chat, where are you? What should I look at? Give me something interesting to look at. We are world explorers here. Explain this, flat earthers. I know Turkmenistan is run by a tyrant, but I really, really want to see Darvaza before it goes dark. Like, I would love to see this before it's gone. Let's see. How high up do I have to be before I can see it? Yeah, it's pretty high up. But I'm just saying, like, there's not going to be any street view here. I'm surprised. They got street view in fucking North Korea, but they don't have street view here. But I'm just saying that would be cool to see. Ooh, audio. This place has been on fire for 60 years. They were drilling down into this crater, and if I'm not mistaken, due to a military conflict, they wanted to prevent their enemies from getting control of the natural gas that the facility was making, so they lit it on fire and it exploded. and the crater has been burning ever since. And this is all the way back during the Cold War. Um, I don't know the deeper history of that era of Turkmenistan, but it is still an interesting side effect that they would do this. But now the Turkmenistani government wants to put a stop to this. They want to seal it up. They want to put out the fire. I probably to extract the remaining gas that's been burning for 60 years. We also, in the U.S., there's a similar town, I believe, in South Carolina that's been on fire for like 80 years. There's like coal veins that run under the veins of coal running under the city, and the mine caught fire, and that slowly spread. And now no one can live in this town. I think last I checked, there was still like one guy living there, and he's the only person left. It looks like its own like small town, like a Silent Hill type thing. Let me see if I can find what the name of that town is. Is it Pennsylvania? It is Pennsylvania. I was wrong. It's Centralia. Centralia, Pennsylvania. So you can drive through it. You can drive through the town, but no one lives here. Or maybe they do. Maybe they live here now. See, I was under the impression that this place was unlivable. It's supposed to be nearly a ghost town. I mean, I guess from the looks of the roads, it's certainly been paved at least in the last 20 or so years. Oh, private property, no trespassing at the church. Is that Orthodox? Ah, yep. So there's smoke in the air here, which I think you can kind of see. But apparently, this place, from time to time, it gets so inundated with smoke that you can't see shit. What's that? What do we got here? We got something. Yeah, here's some abandoned property. It's kind of wild. It's right next to Ashland. I am vaguely familiar with Ashland. Now, this is apparently nearly a ghost town. But apparently nearly doesn't mean it is. The layout is peculiar. Fresh oil and chips. That feels like an advertisement. Man, this person wants to be left the hell alone. Also, very, very aggressive. Very aggressive amount of flags here. Of course, they're a Phillies fan. We don't respect the Phillies. What are you joking? Now let's get out of here. Oh, there it is. So here's more or less the abandoned homes. And these roads here are also empty. And then this whole area, it's all dried up. Maybe runoff from the mine. I would want to poke around. I feel like I'd want to explore. It feels like it's too large of a space to not be at least a little intrigued by. Ooh, okay. So we have ourselves a bit of an abandoned road here, covered top to bottom in graffiti. That's kind of intense. Wonder how far that goes. Okay, Larry Strange, 2018. Thanks for walking this. Oh, people contributing. That was interesting. This is an interesting walk. I wonder if these were rails used by the mining company. This is where it meets, right? Interesting. And it goes all the way out to the road. So this is, they sealed this off. Interesting. I wonder why this is blocked. What don't they want you to see? What's that shrub hiding? What's this grass hiding? It's very interesting. And it reconnects up here, so that's strange. What about up here? Nope, just a nice ass house. Couple houses. I feel like even though this is technically like most of these houses, I mean, these look like they're inhabited. Maybe they put out the fire and I just missed an article that was written somewhere. Eh. Oh no, we're in Aristus. So this isn't even the town anymore. Peculiar. Very, very peculiar. Yep, there we go. Still smoke coming out of them. It's interesting, I guess. How entire. Yep, still smoking. When was this? This was 2023, so 2 years ago. Yeah, no, it's still going. There's the vibe to it. But apparently, yeah, it's the fire is still going underground and smoke still comes out of the holes where the mine used to have access. Like that. And this is what makes it unsafe to live. That there's just so much smoke and soot and CO2 coming out. It's just not a safe place to be. That was a little eerie. No, I wouldn't be going in there. I wouldn't even be considering going in there. Wouldn't trust that shit. This feels like the start of a horror movie. It seems like it's kind of become a low key tourist attraction, which is interesting. I gotta wonder what the effect on the local environment is. If the animals around here just stay away or are they used to it? Like, how do you grapple with that if you're a fucking bird? 2025, July. So, yeah, it's still going. So, maybe the attention is kind of spread. Blame YouTube for that. Ooh, this one's crazy. Suppose you're going to see more of it on colder days. I wonder what it would take to put it out. I wonder if you could flood the mines, or if you'd have to completely suffocate it, seal it off, or if there's just too much down there and it's just going to burn until it's done. What do we got here? Oh, temperature. Yeah, 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not fun. That's not fun at all. Hey, isn't this the Philly's house? The one guy that lives there? Leave it to a Phillies fan to be pursuing an impossible result. Living in a ghost town. Anyway, let's get out of here. Huh. Very fittingly, Ashland. Okay, I hope that the clouds are not actual forecasts because that looks a lot like we're gonna get some weather coming our way. Hopefully not. Layers. It'd be cool if you could have weather. Yeah. Where are we dropping? Looking at chat. Looking at you. Where are we going? I get the feeling I know both of the people that are in the chat right now. Would you believe if I told you that there's a person I've been low key arguing with today on social media that took the most abhorrent and monstrous, um, the most monstrous position I think I've ever heard a person take. The 20-year-old UK kid, and they said that they are pro sexual assault. Their account, literally, the account name was a pro sexual assault, pro crime username, but they edited the way that you say the words so that it would get through the sensors and the AI detectors to look for crime or violence or hate speech. And that is insane. This low life kind of stumbled upon a thread on Threads. I was on Threads, and this person, I commented some basic rules of being a decent man about how you can teach young men to not be sexually aggressive. You know, how you can teach them about consent and stuff like that. And this guy just fully took on the position that no, drunk girls deserve it. And I just was flabbergasted that this person would go down this rabbit hole. But it gets worse because the more I talked to him, the more I realized this kid is just fucking delusional. So it started off with him just saying that, you know, girls need to take responsibility and all that. Just the same old talking points that ignorant men put out there. And then he goes out on a limb to say that, um, you know, he's swimming in it, that he gets women all the time, but then accidentally let slip that he had his first kiss last week. And I'm like, really, bud? And I kind of made him my own personal project to kind of break him, because if I'm going to use any manipulative tactics, I'm going to use them against the people that want to be manipulators, and I am going to break them so that they feel terrible about themselves. And that's what happened. So this kid, he's talking about how he says he's 20, and then he says that he had his first ever kiss with a girl last week, and then he admitted that she was 17. So right off the bat, underage, over it, above age. Now he says that as long as there's a 5 year difference, that it's still okay. And I don't know the laws about the UK about age of consent and if there is a 5 year window, but it doesn't matter because he also said that he'll always be able to get them while they're in their prime. And in their prime, it doesn't matter what age they are. And that could be under 18. And I said to him, well, I mean, good job admitting that you're interested in underage girls on social media. So he just kind of starts going off and saying, I'm an old man, I'm washed up, you know, that I'll never find someone to be with, that I'll die old and alone. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I could have just sent him this, but that's, I'm not dragging anybody into this. I want to make him feel bad. So I said, you know, buddy, having your first kiss in VR chat doesn't count. That threw him for a loop. He went off and he started espousing all sorts of hateful shit. Like he's pure and he can do whatever he wants because he's pure. The words he used specifically used is that he's pure because from he refrained from jacking off. I'll just be blunt about it. He refrained from jacking off until he was 18. And that means that he's forever pure and that he can do whatever he wants. And that nice guys are just jealous of him. Um, and then he went on a tangent about how he'll always be able to get the underage girl if he wants and that it's totally normal. I'm just simply going, yeah, nope, 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 nope. You're an idiot. I'd call him pathetic. I'd call him a joke. I'd, sun him. I'd kind of go like, look, kid, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So you should probably consider opening a book, talking to some human beings, touching some grass, getting outside, socializing with actual people, rather than whatever incel little rabbit hole he was falling down into. And he got so mad at me that he put me on his list of enemies. His list of enemies. And the crime, he literally wrote that he put my username, then he said people should run a train on him. And I'm just like, okay, weird punishment. But he said the crime that I had committed was disobeying him, not giving him praise. He said that he gets praise all the time. He loves praise. He functions with praise, and everyone praises him, and they're not just sycophantic. And I'm like, I don't think you've ever gotten praise once in your life, and you just crave it because you're a sad little lonely boy, and you've never known the touch of a woman because you never will, because you're a disrespectful little petulant child. You're a spoiled brat. And yeah, he said that I was being disobedient, that I was not. What was the words he specifically used? Because he blocked me after that. He said that I was being disobedient, disrespectful, and not heaping praise upon him. And for this crime, I should have a train run on me. If you don't know what that means, it means one person after another person sexually assaulting me. And I'm just like, this kid is fucking crazy. So, but the fun thing is the thread that this whole thing happened on was a thread full of people who survived sexual assault. And I didn't want those people to see these posts. So Threads has a unique little function where, as long as he was commenting on my comments, I could hide his. So that's what I was doing. He would make a vile comment, I would respond, then hide his, which would hide all of the subsequent responses. So this whole time, what he's really trying to do is make the women feel bad about themselves, make the victims feel bad, make him feel like a big, strong man. But really, what was happening is he was getting angrier and angrier and more angry and more upset and more frustrated, that he was having a temper tantrum. But no one could see it but me and him. I wish I screenshotted it. It's insane. If you go to my threads, I did post the account name. So if you want to see the call out post he posted, you just have to find me on threads. It's the same name as this YouTube channel. But yeah, it's fucking wild. I have never encountered someone that was so unbelievably pathetic and useless, and like, I don't understand where these kids get it from. But he didn't seem to like that I called out Andrew Tate. I said that his girlfriend, his first kiss, was about as real as Andrew Tate's chin as normal. And I said something like, "Oh yeah, sure, buddy." And Andrew Tate totally has a normal chin, sarcasm. And he got real mad that I called out Andrew Tate. So I think he's down. He's one of those alpha bro down in the rabbit hole of trying to be Mr. Top G. This dude is going to wind up in jail. Like, genuinely. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to end up in jail. And I would love to see the day where he's standing in front of a judge and says, "But Your Honor, I'm pure. I can do whatever I want." His words exactly. He's pure, so he can do whatever he wants, and everyone should let him do whatever he wants. And I'm like, dude, I would love to see that. I would love to see that day. But yeah, I wound up getting a lot of positive messages and people reaching out about the sort of the words of advice. And what I wrote was that I was taught from a young age, if she's drunker than you, it's an automatic no. If there's a no, any kind of no said, it stops right there. The only yes that really counts is when you're guaranteed to be on the same level of awareness, which is sober. So it can't just be Yes, it has to be an enthusiastic yes with someone who is perfectly conscious. If she seems hesitant, stop, let her think. If she needs comfort, provide it. If she needs space, provide it. No questions asked, leave the room if asked. I said, at no point should this ever be a question, but many men out there don't understand simple respect. Um, and so I was getting, I've got what, 9 different threads branching off of that. Um, a quick 1,000 likes on that. Um, and so many more people providing fantastic insights, you know, um, enthusiastic consent. There should be no ambiguity, no maybes, no silence interpreted as a yes. It needs to be a hell yeah. And of course, never while under the influence, and consent can be withdrawn at any time without any need for explanation. Stop means stop, enthusiastic consent or nothing. And I loved that. That was from Skeetosaurus R, Skeetosaurus Rex, I assume. Um, and then my negative hair says this is the kind of man who provides women, the man who provides that women seek. She says that we need men to provide what we need, not merely brag about providing when he means his basic salary job, providing comfort, sense of safety, understanding. We want you to provide this over things. We can make money ourselves. We need a partner, not an ATM. And I love that. And I said, things are material. You don't date objects. You don't get into relationships with money. You get into relationships with people. People are not material. They are not objects. They are peers, equals, friends, family, foes, and strangers. Humanity comes first always. And I said, there's unfortunately too many people that have lost sight of that. Um, there's a bit where we wound up um, kind of going off on a tangent. There was one person who we had a bit of a ships crossing at sea moment where she was kind of upset because she wanted to say that there was some like women that need to dress or need to take care of themselves more and not get blackout drunk. And I responded with like, you can't blame a woman for wanting to have a fun time. Like you can't attribute the actions of a monster to someone who just wants to cut loose and have fun. And what she was kind of getting at is that women should be careful, that they should protect themselves, that they should be conscious and aware of their surroundings, and getting blackout drunk is a detriment to that. And I agree with that. Having said that, if a girl gets really, really drunk, that's not necessarily her fault. Yeah, she could stop at any time, but when you start drinking, your impairment goes down, your impairment goes up, your lucidity goes down, inhibitions go down. You start thinking, oh, I can handle another one, I can do another one. And before you know it, you're blackout drunk. That's not usually a state that people crave to be unless they have some serious problems. And what wound up happening is she was trying to advise against that. But what it really read to me like was that she was stating that if you get that drunk, that's what you're gonna get. And what that reads like is that some of the blame is on the individual that was drinking. And I couldn't just stay silent for that, because at no point is that the victim's fault. Blaming the victim just because they had drinks does not absolve even a modicum of guilt on the person that's actually responsible. So the idea of, dress a certain, dress to keep the eyes off, don't drink too much. What you're really saying is, hey ladies, when you go out, don't try to have fun. Don't try to let loose and enjoy the life to the max, because someone out there might ruin it for you. And while that's an unfortunate reality, and it's absolutely true that that could happen, I think it's more important than anything that we should be building environments and societies and communities that make it so it doesn't matter if she gets super drunk or if she dresses a certain way, she's going to be safe regardless. That's my intent. My intent is we should be building communities of people that work together to make sure everybody is safe. If someone's blackout drunk, that a friend or at least a friendly person can be trusted to make sure that this person gets home safe and doesn't get sexually assaulted or worse. And it really comes down to everybody doing a couple extra steps. It comes down to men being taught better when they're young to respect people's boundaries and their bodily autonomy. It comes down to, um, people being communicative. It comes down to people being able to say, you know, hey, I get a weird vibe about this person. And it sometimes it's just, it's a messy case to case situation. Thankfully, a lot of bars take steps to fix this problem. They've got things like, um, special orders on the menu that alert the bartender to call the police or call a taxi. There's hand signals that people are sharing. Um, but I don't know if it's necessarily at the universal point where people are able to recognize these things. So it comes down to education. It comes down to communication and starting at a young age. So every single middle schooler, starting in middle school, not even high school, because high school, they're already building those habits. Middle school is when you say, hey, if you're going to go out when you're older, and you will go out, here are some steps you can do to make sure that you're safe. And if you're going out, here are steps you can take to make sure your friends are safe. And if you're going out, here's steps you can take to make sure that your friends get home safe if they become too inebriated to get home on their own. Um, establish buddy systems, establish not just a designated driver, but a designated person who's not going to get that drunk. Someone who can kind of be the responsible person in the room just for the sake of safety. Now everybody's an adult. They can make their own decisions. You can't force someone to take all the precautions. You can't force somebody. But what you can do is start building a culture that protects instead of enables. You can start building a system that provides instead of restricts. So instead of telling women that they need to cut back, restrict themselves from having fun, instead providing a safe space to do so. Let's bring back old school public houses, old school taverns, where they've got rooms upstairs, and if someone's blackout, give them a key, let them crash upstairs. That would be cool. I would patronize a business like that, but not one person. Only one person goes in, no couples, no nothing. One person goes in, only one person is allowed in. You could even make them just like non-private spaces, just some big bunks like a hostel. That way, the only way anything suspicious is happening is in front of everybody else. And that way, you can have some accountability, because if everyone in the room is super, super drunk and you got staff members checking on people, there's no problems there, right? So better in a public house bed than on the side of the street. So maybe we could start doing stuff like that. We shouldn't have to, but it's one thing that just came to mind. What we could also do, aside from teaching people at a young age, aside from building a new culture, that's long-term goals. That's slow stuff. What can we do right now? This is something we talked about in that thread as well. Remove the statute of limitations for all sexual violence. The idea that statute of limitations should exist for any violent crime is ludicrous. Just because someone doesn't report it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And just because some time has passed doesn't absolve the guilty party. Someone who committed rape 20 years ago should still be able to go to prison, even if that person is the president of the United States. So it's one of those things where, what can you do? Statute of limitations needs to be removed because all that ever does is shield the offenders. And that's something I think that would be an immediate change. Make it so the predators out there, if they do one crime one time, they will have to live their entire lives knowing that the threat of jail is looming over their heads every day for the rest of their lives. That all it takes is one bit of DNA or one witness testimony and they go to prison forever. I think statute of limitations is the first thing that needs to change. Murder, rape, any of those types of crimes, sexual assault of a child, remove statute of limitations across the board. Should never exist in the first place. Statute of limitations for like economic stuff, that theft, you can almost kind of understand why that exists, but not for violent crimes, not for assault or murder or any of that. That's ludicrous. The fact that that's in our system pisses me off. It pisses me off more than the golf course thing. And the golf course thing, you saw how pissed off I got about that. But yeah, I can't believe I encountered someone who decided to dedicate their social media presence to being a pro-sexual assault advocate. 20-year-old UK loser. I wonder what bum-ass part of the UK he lives in. And I know for a fact he does not represent even the tiniest population. There's a handful of people in that country that probably think the way he thinks, maybe a single digits the way that he was wording it. But goddamn, I overshot my time by quite a bit, actually. I guess that's what happens when I get on a rant and a rave. So unless you guys want something right now in the chat, I'm going to have to log out. Looking at the chat. Watching. Pretending that I froze. I didn't actually freeze. I just pretending. And I lost the lid on the cap on my pen. See, that's what happens. They get me frazzled. All right, well, I suppose rant concluded, and we'll see you next time. So, see ya.